Imagine you're sitting in the back seat of a car as you and your friends drive through yet another summer night. The windows are down, the air is cool and crisp, and the music is blaring. Suddenly the driver grabs his phone and he puts on an artist you've never heard before, and the first track goes something like this.
It's that real this time around. Immortal technique. Revolutionary volume 2. It's on now, motherfucker. Lock and load. This is the point of no return. I can never go back.
And that's the song that changed my life forever. So, going back to the first video where I talked about that event that divided my life from before and after, that event being the discovery of Immortal technique. That is actually how it happened. I was sitting in the back of a friend's car on a late night drive when suddenly he played actually a few songs of Immortal technique, with The Point of No Return being the one that really stood out to me. Because up until this point, I had never really heard a song that conveyed so much information and really had so many points to make. And I was kind of inspired. Upon that first listen, the song conveyed so many messages and so many images in my head that by the end I was just kind of like, whoa, this is some good shit. Is it the most pungent song he has? No. But it was definitely enough to pique my interest and definitely enough to have me check out more of his music. And I did. But that song in particular will always be near and dear to my heart because it really was, in my own way,
The Point of No Return.
Because if it wasn't for that song, I really wouldn't have had a reason to stumble upon him just in my everyday life. And I would have missed out on some of those more pungent songs, the songs that really had me Googling things about the world and how things are actually run and power structures and events, so on and so forth. And it was learning about those events that inspired me to write my first novel. So in a lot of ways, had my friend not played that song, I may have never become a writer. And I would not have the wall behind me, nor would I have this YouTube channel. As I mentioned in a previous video, which I might link somewhere in this area, there are those of us who at one point in time did not care or maybe were just unaware of current events, politics, and how it affects us in our day-to-day lives until they found that spark, until they found that mechanism that actuated their awareness. Why did I say it like that? They found their spark for revolution. Again, revolution not necessarily being a term for violence and overthrowing a government, but a term for a revolution of the mind, changing the way you think. And that is exactly what that song was the catalyst for. That song was my spark. Might as well go ahead and link that also in the description if you want to check that out. No pressure. But up until this point of me hearing this song for the first time, again, I was someone who didn't care about politics, was very much living my life without any real awareness of the things that go on internationally or, dare I say, domestically. And then everything changed. Because that song just provoked so much. It had me question so much. Really, it was kind of like looking into an ocean of things that I never really thought about or things that, again, I was just unaware of. And hearing about all of this stuff through the power of song, through the power of music, again, it just piqued my interest so much that eventually I took my first step and took my second step and then I just kind of never stopped stepping. And now here we are today. So Immortal technique really opened my eyes to things that were outside of my awareness. But as time went on, and I listened to a lot of the other music that is on the wall, I slowly came to the realization that a lot of the music I was already listening to prior to hearing that song in particular, they followed the same message, they followed the same themes, they had ways of explaining oppression and resistance and all that good stuff. minus oppression. That's not really a good thing. And that is what led to me having the idea for the wall behind me. Because again, as time went on, and I listened to more music, I watched more TV shows, movies, I started to see that resistance that was embedded in the culture. And I always wanted to have my own piece to the puzzle, with the main piece being my books. That was my form of resistance. That was my small contribution to the fight. Why is my camera not focusing the brightness correctly? And that is why I kept writing. That's why I eventually made this YouTube channel, and that's why, as time goes on, we will talk about more music, trying to highlight those messages, trying to highlight, lost my train of thought, this camera's really annoying. And I've been on that journey ever since. Still not published, but hey, I'm trying, so Anyways, yeah, the point of no return. If you're a fan of hip-hop, I strongly encourage it. Might not be for everyone, but might still be worth checking out. But if you want an even better song, if you want a slightly more pungent song, I highly recommend The Fourth Branch. Very good song, highly recommended. But anyways, that's all for this video. Feel free to check out some of my other content. I make a bit of a variety of content, so if you want to check out something else, feel free. Hey, like and subscribe if you liked this one. And we'll talk to you next time about whatever comes up. So hey, we'll see you then. Later. Imagine that you're sitting in the back seat of a car. Suddenly your friend takes his phone, plays a song. Imagine you're sitting in the back seat of a car as you and some of your friends drive through yet another summer night. The windows are down, the air is cold and crisp, and the music is blaring. And so is my AC unit.